Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Bree in case you are new here, and if you are, I would love it if you would subscribe down below so that you can get more videos like this one or like my other vlogs, or just, I don't know, if you want to see more videos from me. I would really love it if you would just subscribe and join my little fam. That would mean a lot to me, and if you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Anyways, I did not come up with this idea for this video by myself. I saw this on Sid's Vids, her channel, and she made these really great videos talking about her college experiences, like by each year. She did one for her freshman year and then she did one for her sophomore year, and I really liked it and I was really inspired by that. I will link the videos down below for you guys to watch them, but I wanted to make one of my own recapping my freshman year experience, my first year of college, and giving my best tips and advice for if you're going to college. And I'll probably make separate videos talking about college advice, but this one is just like more specific about, you know, maybe things that I went through or things that I learned my freshman year that I will take with me, or that I would tell myself if I could talk to myself before I went to college and tell her some things. There are some things that I really wish I knew. So with that being said, let's get into the video. I'm just gonna go over my freshman year and then give y'all some advice. All right, we're gonna go month by month, just like Sid does in her videos, just because I really like that concept. So starting with August, I moved in towards the end of August to my dorm, and then there was a week before class started. I had like 6 days or something. There was a week before class started. If you don't know, you can go watch my dorm tour, but if you don't know, I had my own room, so that was really nice. Had my own room. I met my roommate like the day I moved in. I had never met her in person before, but we had obviously like DM'd and we picked each other and we had FaceTimed and stuff, but yeah, met Gwen first day. Luckily, we became best friends. I love her so much, but that welcome week before school actually started was crazy and I hated it. Like, I actually hated welcome week. I don't know how to describe it. It's just like there's like weird icebreaker things. You have to talk to people on your floor. There are, you know, meetings you have to go to. Like, I had to go to a couple of meetings for a scholarship that I had, or the honors college, or something random like that. I would just have to go to these random events, and then they had like planned events every single night, and obviously these things are great. They're great opportunities to mingle and meet people, but I hated it because everything felt so forced and I felt really isolated. I mean, I wasn't isolated because I had like friends from high school and I had my roommate and I had my boyfriend, but it was just weird. I hated the beginning of freshman year of high school the same way, because it was like I'm starting a new situation and I was forced to do these activities and things that I didn't really want to do, and it just felt super weird, and I didn't have a routine yet, so I also felt super weird. So yeah, welcome week was not my favorite, but once I started classes, things got a lot better. I had a routine for myself, sort of. I mean, it took me a second to get into my routine, but I really just didn't like welcome week. It just felt super forced. I mean, I went to the activities, like I tried my best, but it felt like there were a lot of people that just like immediately went to go party and drink and do all these things, and I'm not judging them, like that's their prerogative, but for me, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to take it more slowly, and so I just like didn't make a lot of friends or any really genuine connections in August, just because I wanted to take things a little bit more slowly and just like figure things out at my own pace, which ended up being fine. Just welcome week was uncomfy, and that's just the way it was. I think I struggled making new friends at first, and that was honestly my fault because I didn't really put myself out there that much, which I feel like what I didn't know about college is that you meet some people that maybe you're just friends for the first couple weeks when you're still figuring stuff out, and they're just like a person to get lunch with, until you really meet your real friends, and then you kind of don't really hang out with that person and there's no hard feelings. But I like felt weird doing that, and so it's totally fine to have just welcome week friends. Like, it's totally fine to just have a person that you hang out with, or a few people or a group of people like that you just hang out with at the very beginning of college until you really meet your new friends, and then you kind of just like move on. I don't know, that's super normal, but for some reason it just like didn't come naturally to me, so I just like didn't really partake in that necessarily. Not to say it's wrong or it's right, it's just I didn't necessarily partake. And then another thing about starting college was that I had a safety blanket. Both of my brothers went to IU. My oldest brother was doing a extra semester to finish a class, and then my other brother is a junior now at IU, so we were all together, which made me feel very comfortable and very safe. Even though I didn't see them that much, I knew they were there. They were close, and that also meant that my parents came a lot, and IU is not that far from my house, so my parents were there a lot, and I just like was very comfortable. It's like when you buy a goldfish and you keep it in the bag when you put it in its tank at first. It was like that. I was the goldfish and I was still in the bag. Like, I wasn't in my fishbowl yet, you know what I'm saying? that was a weird analogy, but yeah. So moving on to September. September, I got more into my routine. I really started enjoying my classes. I have always been a person that kind of liked academics, but in high school, I was a really, really bad procrastinator. So in college, I really wanted to kick that habit, and I honestly think that I did. Kind of. Of course, I still procrastinate, but just not to the same degree that I did in high school. And I really, really, really enjoyed my, I just said really so many times. I did really enjoy my classes though. I enjoyed the level that they were at. I felt like I was ready for them, if not like beyond the level that I was at, just because my high school prepared me well, and that was honestly a really good feeling. I enjoyed the feeling of college, and also fall in Bloomington is so pretty. I felt like I was in a movie. I literally felt like I was in Legally Blonde, like walking around campus, just because it was just like such a nice place to be. So September, I started trying to get involved in extracurriculars. So there's like activity fairs, and there's stuff that you can do, or there's like flyers, call-out meetings for everything. And I got involved with ICANN, which I'm still involved with and I love. And then I tried out for an a cappella group on campus, because if you didn't know, I did choir and theater in high school. So I tried out for this a cappella group. I got a call back, but I didn't end up making it, and I was disappointed, but honestly, I'm glad that I didn't, because I think it would have held me back from different opportunities that I got later down the line, and I just don't think it was the right place for me. So I'm glad that I didn't make it, but I am glad that I tried out. I put myself out there, even though I was like kind of iffy about it. Yeah, and then I just like ventured into more social things, went to a couple parties, I like met more of the people on my floor, and that was really fun. And oh, my birthday was in September, and that was an interesting day. It was weird because I kind of came to the realization that I didn't have any more birthdays like as a kid at home. Like all of my birthdays from now on will be at college or like away from home, like as an adult. And that was weird, and I just like felt really out of place. I didn't feel like my birthday. It was weird. And hopefully this next one is better. But yeah, so I turned 19, and kind of I like my birthday because it's kind of like a fresh start, you know. And so that was good. I would say September was like a good month. I really liked fall. It was nice. The weather got really nice. Moving on, October. In October, I got sick. So in October, I got a really bad sinus infection, and I went to the health center knowing that I had a sinus infection, because I get them pretty much every year, and they can be really bad for me. They can turn chronic. And so I went to the health center, and I saw a nurse practitioner, and I told him, hey, I really think I'm having a sinus infection, and usually they're pretty bad for me. I need to take an antibiotic so that it gets it out of my system so that it doesn't turn chronic. And he was like, no, I just think you're, new to Bloomington. There are different allergens here. I think you're just having allergies or a cold. And he gave me like Mucinex. And so 10 days later, the health center called me, and they were like, how are you doing or whatever, just following up, which I'm really glad that they did. Wait, I'm not even remembering this correctly. I think 10 days later, I was still feeling really ill, so I made a new appointment. No, they called me. They definitely called me to see how I was doing. Yeah, they called me. So the health center called me, and they were like, how are you doing? And I was like, I honestly don't feel much better, and I'm starting to cough a lot, and I have illness-induced asthma. So I was like, I'm coughing a lot, and they were like, you need to come back in. So I saw a different nurse practitioner, and she was like, you have a really, really bad sinus infection, and then I also like had, my illness-induced asthma was flaring up, so I was like coughing a lot, and it was really, really bad. It was interfering with my sleep, interfering with my academics, like it was terrible. So she put me on antibiotics, and then she also put me on oral steroids for my lungs, and it didn't work. I was still sick a week later, so I went back and I went on more antibiotics, more oral steroids. I gained 5 pounds with each round of oral steroids because they make you gain weight. They make you hold on to like salt and water. And so I gained a lot of weight. I felt really insecure. I like was so puffy up in my face. It was so bad. I was coughing. I was not getting better. So eventually one night in November, I was coughing up until 3 in the morning. I could not breathe. Felt like I was breathing out of a straw. I called my mom. She was like, you should go to the ER. So my brother took me to the ER at 3 in the morning, and they had to give me a breathing treatment. They took x-rays of my lungs. They thought, oh, maybe this is pneumonia, like this is not just a cough. It was bad. I was sick for a very long time, and that was honestly really depressing. I would say October, I just mostly kept to myself. I went to a couple parties, I think, and like I would hang out with my boyfriend and my roommate, but I didn't really do much else, because I was just so sick and I felt terrible, and I felt like a nuisance to everyone, honestly. I felt like being around me was really annoying because I was coughing so much, and that's, a genuine feeling, but I stayed locked in my dorm a lot. Another thing about October is I made a mistake, and this is like my first real big adult mistake. Ooh. So in Bloomington, and it's like at IU and in Bloomington, pretty much only freshmen could live on campus because there are so many students, and they had limited amount of dorms because some of the dorms had mold, etc., etc. There was a bunch of issues with housing. So basically only freshmen could live on campus. And if you want to get in a house or an apartment, you have to look for it like first semester the year before you want to move in. Like if you want one of the nicer ones. And so people were like posting about that on their Finstas or on their Instagrams of them like house hunting or apartment hunting, and I freaked out. So what I did is I texted these girls that I know from high school that I was really good friends and like with in high school and middle school. I texted them and I asked if they wanted to live together, and they were currently roommates, and I'm very good friends with them both. There are no hard feelings here, but I made the mistake of just like rushing into a lease with them. It was a lease that I didn't even love the apartment that much, and I didn't feel super comfortable signing with them just because we're pretty different. Again, nothing against them. They know the whole situation. Like, we talked it through, but I didn't feel super comfortable with the whole situation in general. It just like did not feel right to me. But I was like really anxious about finding a place to live for my sophomore year, so I signed a lease with them and kind of like jumped into that really quickly. And then I kind of just like forgot about it a little bit, and I just like had that apartment for my sophomore year. I don't really know how to like wrap that sentence up. Basically, I signed the lease. I wasn't super comfortable with it though, but I was in there and I was stuck pretty much. Moving on though, November, like I said, went to the ER. My dad had to come get me at like 4 in the morning from Bloomington, drive me home so I could like recover a little bit. I missed a few classes. It happens. Most professors like allow you some absences, some don't. I literally have a memory of me in the car, 4 in the morning, fresh out of the hospital, driving home with my dad. And I'm like, I have to email my Spanish professor because I'm not going to be in class. I had not slept in so long. I had gone to my 8 a.m. that day before. And I get on my phone, I get on Canvas, and I email my professor in Spanish. I like literally was sitting there in the car trying to figure out how to say in Spanish, like, I went to the hospital last night, I can't breathe, I'm not going to be in class. And that's just so funny. That's just like why did I why did I do that? I don't know. But yeah, that's what I did. In November, I went to fall tailgates. Fall is really, really pretty. Like, it got chilly, it was cozy. I celebrated my 2-year anniversary with my boyfriend, and that was fun and cozy. And yeah, there's really not that much I'm gonna say about November. I just finally started getting better after being sick and going on so many rounds of antibiotics. I think I did 3 rounds total, or maybe 4 rounds total of antibiotics and 3 rounds total of oral steroids, and I gained 15 pounds, which that sucked because I was trying not to gain the freshman 15, and I didn't until I got sick. So that stunk. In December, I was finally better. I was super excited for it. In December, I started getting really into fitness and like lifting weights, going to the gym, and that was mostly because of the weight that I had gained because of my medicine. And I just didn't feel great about myself, so that's why I did that. And honestly, December, I was like, it went by so fast because there's only really a couple weeks that you're at school, and then it's finals week, and then you go home. Finals week was good. It actually was not that bad. I don't think I had a final in every single class, but I had like 3, maybe 3 or 4 finals. Sometimes a final, it's like a project or a presentation or something, but yeah, I had my first college finals, and I definitely studied a lot. I definitely prepared for them a lot because I was nervous and I wanted to perform well, but I would say I did perform well. I got straight A's for my first semester of college, and I was very, very proud of myself because I really made a goal of getting really good grades, and I did it. I got straight A's, and I was just feeling very accomplished. I was just like very happy that I did that. Oh, last thing I'll say about December, my brother graduated, which was great. I was so excited for him, and then it was Christmas. I went to Florida, had a great time, and then it was January. January, I dyed my hair back to dark brown because it was like really blonde. So I dyed it back to dark brown, felt like a whole brand new person. I stayed up on my fitness game, and I started working really hard on my YouTube. And that's basically all there is to say about January. I don't remember anything else that happened. I think it was just like going back to school and adjusting to a new schedule. None of my classes or professors or anything was the same. And like, I knew that was gonna happen, but it was just like weird. Going back to first semester, it was like, I had to schedule my own classes and figure that out and make myself an appointment with my advisor. It was just like, nobody does that for you. You have to do it. You have to take care of yourself in that way, and you have to make sure that you're meeting all of your requirements and all that stuff. And like, that was interesting, but also fun to figure out. It was fun to look at my schedule and figure out things for myself. It was just great. February had Valentine's Day. I have a Valentine's Day vlog up on my channel if you want to look at that. It was my roommate's birthday, celebrated her. I remember February I just worked really hard in my classes, and I also worked really hard in the gym. I just worked super hard on my fitness and got really into it. And also in January and February, I started going to church a lot more. I made my faith a bigger priority starting in 2020, and I also started searching for a Bible study. There are so many great Christian organizations on campus, and so I wanted to like try some out. I wanted to see, like, I really wanted a fellowship, especially with women. I really wanted to get into a Bible study group where I had women supporting me, and I also really wanted to make new friends because I was reflecting on my first semester and I was like, I did great academically, but I didn't put myself out there. I didn't make a lot of friends, and I kind of used the safety blanket of my boyfriend, my roommate, and my brothers, and I just didn't really put myself out there otherwise. So second semester I was like, I'm going to make friends. I'm going to make meaningful friends, and I also really wanted to make some more sisters in Christ. So that was great. I found Delight Ministries in February, and it was like the best thing to ever happen to me. I met a bunch of girls that were exactly like me. They were college girls. They want to have their fun college experience, but they also want to learn about Jesus and grow closer to him. Literally the best. And the second time that I went, I met this girl named Paige, and I know she watches my videos, so hi Paige. And we hit it off immediately. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is like a match made in heaven. We were meant to be friends. And it turned out that she and her roommate were looking for a third roommate for their apartment, and I had been having a lot of anxiety about my apartment for my sophomore year, and I kind of was looking for a reason to get out of it, and I felt like God really wanted me to go and live with Paige. So I ended up making that switch. It was really hard. I had to make a big girl decision. I had to make a decision that I knew would hurt somebody, it would inconvenience them, it would inconvenience me, it would cost me money, but ultimately it would be better for me. It would give me a safer, more positive environment for my sophomore year, one where I felt like I could be more genuinely myself. And I also wanted to give my old roommates, my friends from high school, them a more positive environment, because I just had this feeling, this gut feeling that we just wouldn't mesh. And I wanted them to have their environment the way that they wanted in their apartment, and I wanted my environment to be good. And in the moment, I think I gave myself flack for like being too dramatic about it. I would be like, oh, I am being too dramatic about this. It's just an apartment. It's just 9 months of college or whatever. And this is before Corona all happened and before I knew college was getting canceled. But I'm so glad that I made that decision and I decided to live somewhere else, because my college experience is so precious to me now, because I lost some of my freshman year. I'm going to have to do a lot of my homework and all of my school online in my apartment for this next year. And so I'm so glad that I made that switch, even though it was hard. It was inconvenient. It was not the greatest thing to go through. I'm glad that I did that and I made that decision for myself. So if you're watching this, it's your sign. If you have to make a big girl decision that you know is going to be annoying for you and others, but you eventually will get through and it will be okay, this is your sign. Do it. Make that decision, because it will be good. Oh, I went vegan for a week in February. That was really interesting. Oh, and around February and the beginning of March was the time that I applied for internships and I interviewed for them. There is actually one of my first vlogs on my channel, I think. One of my first vlogs on my channel is me interviewing on the phone or like something. One of my first vlogs on my channel, actually, I have interviews for my internships, like phone interviews, and that didn't end up going as planned, but I did secure an internship for the summer. It was a job, it just wasn't the job that they said I was gonna get, basically. But I was interviewing for internships, and honestly, I just put too much pressure on myself. I was like, I want an internship after my freshman year, wow. I really didn't need to do that. I mean, Corona was gonna happen anyway, so nobody had internships really this summer. It was just like, that was just like weird. It was a weird time, and then also during that time, I went through some issues like with my close personal relationships, and so end of February, beginning of March was a little bit tumultuous, but I was making new friends, and that was really, really important. I made friends with these girls from Delight. I made friends with my good friend Olivia. I literally DM'd her on Instagram. I had met her once first semester, and then I followed her on Instagram, and then I DM'd her on Instagram second semester, and I was like, do you want to get coffee with me? And then we got coffee, and we talked for hours, and it was great, and I found a new friend. So second semester, I really met up to my goal of making new friends, and that was good. I'm glad that I did that. Basically, in March, by that point, I'd really figured myself out. I'd really figured out my independence. I had really amazing routines and I was making new friends. And I felt really, really good about myself. I was involved in ICANN. I was doing a lot of stuff for them because I was in charge of planning a benefit dinner for them. Ultimately, it got canceled because it was in April and that was when everything with Corona was really bad and we weren't at school and all that good stuff. But I was working pretty hard planning that and getting involved in that, and it just felt great to be involved. I was with people more often, putting myself out there. I would say yes to somebody wanting to go to the library at 11 o'clock at night, where usually I would have been like, no, I'm gonna sit in my dorm and watch Netflix by myself. I'm just like really glad that I put myself out there more, because now I know that I'm capable of doing that, you know? Like I'm capable of putting myself in situations and making friends and just like thriving, you know? Like anyways, I'm really glad that I did that. But then school got canceled. I was literally on the treadmill and I got the email that we were not going to be at school for 2 weeks after spring break. And I was like, cool, like a long spring break. And then of course it ended up getting canceled for the greater good. It was better because 50,000 kids go to my school. Like so bad if we were all there. But yeah, so then school got canceled and I was sent home to do online school. And I had to move out of my dorm, which was really sad because I really loved my dorm. Like that was my oasis. So basically April and May, I'm just gonna lump those together because I just did online school. I treated it like a 9-to-5 job. I would just wake up, do school, and then like after school I would just hang out with my family and, you know, watch TV, do dinner or whatever. And unfortunately, in the middle of May, we got unfortunate news that my Nana had a stroke and she was basically in a really bad place. It was unfortunately, it ended up being fatal. She was in a coma for about 2 weeks, I think, but only my mom was able to go, and I wasn't able to go be with my mom, and unfortunately, and I wasn't able to go and see her for one last time because I had to stay here. I had to finish my schoolwork. Literally, my finals day vlog that is up on my channel, like that was during this whole thing. That was during like when my Nana was passing away and basically in like a really bad state. And so I was just going through a lot at that point and I was really excited that school was done. I did finish second semester with a 4.0. It kind of felt weird celebrating that though. I was very, very excited for myself and like very proud of myself. First semester I got straight A's, but technically not a 4.0 just because I got 1 A minus. But second semester I got a 4.0 and I was really, really proud of myself. But it just didn't feel real because school was online for 2.5 months, 2 months. It was just so strange and it was a really strange time. But looking back on my freshman year, I am really, really proud of how I grew. I'm really proud of who I became and my independence that I gained and the lessons that I learned and how hard I worked and how much I did put myself out there because it was out of my comfort zone. And you know, I wasn't even sure that I went to the right college, that college was for me, but I'm really glad that I did and I figured those things out for myself and I really figured out my own independence and that was really great. So moving on to my best advice for freshman year. I would say don't put too much weight on what you see on your friends' social media. You're going to see your friends from high school that went to other schools and they're going to be posting their pictures from Rush and they're going to be posting, oh, that's a whole nother thing I could talk about is I didn't rush. For IU freshman girls, Rush is second semester. It's the first week of second semester and I didn't partake. That was just like for personal reasons. I just didn't feel like sorority life was for me. I didn't feel like Greek life was for me and I never have felt drawn to it. So if I didn't feel drawn to it, I'm not gonna do it. But I had a lot of friends rush and they said it was tough. Like it's a tough week. But you know, if you want to do it and you feel like you're called to one of the sororities, like it's great. I know a lot of people who have had really, really positive experiences. Obviously some people have had negative experiences. It just is, I think it's really what you make of it, honestly. But I didn't rush because it wasn't for me. But I'm not going to like say you should or shouldn't. It's up to you if you feel drawn to it. I digress. People are going to be posting their pictures. They're going to be like, wow, I met my people. I'm thriving. Like, that was a huge word first semester. It was like, oh, like, look at her. She's thriving. Or like, look at me. I'm thriving. Or I have my people. Like, I made my new best friends, like, within a week of me being at college. And I would look at that. I would see people's social media posts. And I would be so sad because I didn't feel that way. I'd be like, I didn't make any new friends. Like, I made a couple, like I talked to a couple people, you know, like I got the one girl's number in my class or whatever, but like I wasn't having like sleepovers and like I wasn't going to parties with my new best friends. Like I didn't really do that. What I didn't know is that a lot of people were at the same pace as me, and a lot of people didn't make their friends until second semester. Some people didn't really find their people at all. I didn't know that you can probably make your best friends like your sophomore or junior year of college. Like sometimes you don't know who your best friends are right away. Sometimes you just like have to focus on yourself and you're not ready to meet your best friends. And maybe that's something that God is doing in your life, you know? And I didn't really know that. I didn't know that I had to figure out myself first semester before I could make friends. I would get so jealous of people on social media. But I bet you anything, those people are posting the highlight reel and those people are lonely too. First semester of freshman year is hard. It is hard, it's lonely, you feel weird, you are in a completely different place, you are in a completely different environment, both socially and academically and physically, and it's weird and it's hard. You're going to miss your parents, you're gonna miss your dog, you're gonna cry, you're gonna be in your dorm and like wish you were back home, and it happens to literally everyone. Well, it depends on how your home situation was, but my home situation was really good, so I missed my home sometimes. But sometimes I just didn't want to talk to my mom, you know, I was like thriving in my independence or whatever. But I would say don't focus too hard on what other people are doing because everybody's college experience is going to be different. You're going to be going at your own pace, you're going to meet people at different times, and everything is going to be what you make of it. So if you want to be best friends with somebody, go up to them, sit with them at lunch, get their number, get their snap, whatever, talk to them, put yourself out there. But if you don't want to be best friends with somebody, don't force yourself to hang out with them because you think you have to have friends. Sometimes it's better to be alone than to be with the wrong people, and that's fine. My other advice is that you're going to be a lot more tired than you were in high school. Like literally my senior year of high school, I was in a play, directing a play, had a retail job, was in show choir and did school, and like had friends and a boyfriend all at the same time. And I would just like get up at 6 a.m. and do that every single day. And at college, it was really hard for me to get out of bed at 7 a.m. And then after going to class for like 3 hours in a day instead of 7 hours a day, after 3 hours of class, I would like pass out and take a nap. And I was like, this is weird. I used to have so much more energy. It's just because in college, you're there on purpose. You're there because you chose to be there. You're doing classes that you chose to take, unless you're taking gen ed. It's kind of different freshman year, but everything is a lot more intentional and a lot more on purpose. You put a lot more of your energy into what you're doing at college. Your extracurriculars, make sure that you love them. Don't do it just because you think it'll look good. Make sure you love it because it will take a lot of time. It'll take a lot of dedication. You've got to choose to be in the rooms that you put yourself in, and it will be more draining at times and you'll be like, wow, I'm really tired. But honestly, it's really worth it. If you put yourself in rooms that you really want to be in, you deserve to be there and you worked hard to be there. And I'm getting on such a tangent. I digress. Anyways, college takes more energy from you. That's fine. Make sure you're getting enough rest. Make sure you're getting sleep. Make sure you're recharging. Make sure you're spending time alone. You don't want to figure yourself out while you're surrounded by a crowd of people. Like sometimes stay in Friday night, you know? Figure yourself out and be by yourself and learn about yourself. This is like the most selfish time of your life is when you're in college. Like you are in this bubble where you're still relying on your parents, but you don't have to talk to them every day and you are independent, you're living on your own, but you still have the support of your parents. It's such a unique time. Take advantage of it. I don't think I did that first semester, and when I look back, I'm a little bit disappointed that I didn't take advantage of it as much, but I'm glad that I learned that lesson that college goes by so fast. Like freshman year just flew by. It went by so fast. I could make a whole series of videos about college, and I think I'm going to just because I just have so much that I want to share about it, but it goes by so fast and I just want to cherish every single moment of it. So I'm glad that I learned that lesson that like you want to cherish it, you know, you want to cherish it, you want to make sure that you are rested enough and so you're capable of being present in the moment that you put yourself in, you know, you want to make sure that you're capable of being healthy and happy. Put yourself first, put your health and your happiness first. And you know, I say that and I don't think I always did that. I think I just kind of let myself go with the flow, and while that's good too, I should have taken more control and I should have put myself out there. And I don't have too many regrets from my freshman year, but I definitely wish that I was more conscious of some of the ways that I spent my time. I don't know if this makes sense. It's going to be more tiring but it's going to be worth it. It all goes by so fast, you want to cherish it. I have a lot more freshman year advice that I'm willing to share with you guys. Let me know if you have any questions down below about my freshman year or any advice that I have for you or any specific questions you have. I would love to answer them in the comments or in a separate video. Please let me know any requests that you have. I will happily talk to you about it. You can DM me on Instagram and let me know any of the questions you've had. I've had a couple people DM me being like, hey, I'm going to IU, or like, hey, do you have any tips about college or something? And they came from my videos, and I'm telling you, it makes me so happy, and I love spending time talking to you. So my ears are open. If you need a friend, if you need somebody to talk about, if you need big sister advice, I'm here. My DMs and my comments are open. I love you so much. I hope this helped or gave you some interesting perspective about an honest, real recap of college. It's not like a glorified, like, perfect, productive vlog. It's literally like freshman year sucked at points. Like, I cried and cried and cried sometimes because I was so sad. And then other times it was amazing and I was making new friends. But like sometimes I was comparing myself to other people and how they were doing at college. But sometimes I was like, I'm on top of the world. So yeah, it's a time, man. It's a whirlwind. You'll have some of the highest and some of the lowest moments of your life, but it'll be so fun and you will look back fondly on it. At least I hope you do. And if you don't feel comfortable where you are at college, I promise you, you're not at the right place, and it is okay to move. It is okay to transfer. It's okay to take control of your life. Make those decisions that are best for you. Wow, I just talked for such a long time. Anyways, I hope this helped. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more of these videos. Give this video a thumbs up if it helped you. Don't forget to leave a comment, and I love you so much. Okay, bye.